Good evening, good evening, good evening. We are here today with the baddest band. I don't care what you say in the land. TSU Aristocrat band. I'm telling you, we are the Aristocrat band, the baddest. I'm telling you, the baddest in the land. And I'm with my guy. My favorite brother. He's in the Divine Nine. He is a 85A. One of the, listen, in my opinion, one of the GOATs at TSU, Tennessee State University. This young man here has taken this band to a level that we've never seen in years. I don't care what nobody says. I'm just telling you what this young man has done for this band and for this program and for all these kids that's in here walking around here today. He you know what? He has sacrificed a lot, him, his family, to make sure that this school, this university, and all these students are well taken care of. He loves these students just like they're his kids. And I don't care what nobody say, this man is a fair man. It's my guy, other than Dr. Reginald A McDonald, head band director of Tennessee State University Aristocrat Bands. So what we're gonna do today, we're gonna talk about, we're gonna break the news. The news, we got some very important news to announce to everybody, because it's imperative that we first of all bridge the gap with the Tennessee State University Alumni Band and with the current administration, with the band staff. It's imperative that we all get on one accord and work together, because guess what? We're a family. When we got a problem, let's handle it in-house.
That's right.
Not in public. Let's handle it in-house.
That's right.
So we're gonna address that. But first of all, I want to let this young man weigh in and tell us, how did he get this band program to where it is today?
Well, first I want to say hello to everybody. Thanks for joining us this evening. I know it's late. It's been a long day for the Aristocrats, but I promise you tomorrow, if you're at the Southern Heritage Classic game, you will enjoy our presentation. I want to say thank you to my dude Sid for all he's done with regards to supporting the band program, supporting me. And to answer your question, one of the things I learned early on is about vision. And I actually took a class with Bishop Walker in Nashville called Next Level Leaders. And one of the things he challenged us to do as a next level leader is to always be looking forward. And he said visionaries see things almost 5 or 10 years before everybody else do. And so, you know, in 2011, 2010, 2011, the interim vice president, Portia Shields, asked me to write a strategic plan for the band. And I wrote it. And these are things that I'm thinking about 10 years before they actually happen. And a lot of it had to do with our presence with social media. And it took a minute to get it going. I know some alumni were upset with our presence at first, but I had to allow things to unfold the way they needed to unfold. Then the next step was with regards to bringing the band back to national and international prominence. So long before we even did a Grammy album, you know, we was performing for an international soccer match, the New Zealand versus Mexico. People don't know that. We were the first to do NCAA Final Four, the women's Final Four in Nashville. We was on ESPN's First Take before any other black college band had done it. You know, we just had all of these firsts and all these numerous things going on that actually I was seeing in 2011 prior to them happening. And so thinking about this particular conversation, I started to think about where we were and all the things that we had accomplished. And when I look back at that strategic plan that Dr. Portia Shields asked me to write, we have actually accomplished each one of those items. So now I'm in a space, now I'm looking at the future of the band program. One of the things Prof. Graves stated to me numerous times when he hired me, and I'm humbled that he hired me out of all of the people he taught and graduated. He could have hired anybody. One of the things he always challenged me in the grooming process was to leave the band program when my time is up, when I retire, what have you. Make sure I leave the band program better than the way I found it. And that was what he tried to do. And so I want the alumni to know that we are in great shape, you know, where we going for the next 20, 25 years. Long after I retire, I ain't gonna be in 20, 25 years, but long after I retire, I've made sure that we have some young, brilliant minds on our staff. Many of them you've had an opportunity to meet and just pick their brains. And all of these people are in their late 30s, early 40s. So with that mindset, I'm actually setting the band up, the legacy of the band to continue for the next 20, 25 years. Long after I'm retired, I'm on a golf course somewhere, you know, what have you. These young guys and young women that we have on our current band staff are brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And I want people to just kind of check out their work sometime and some of the things they do in the arenas they have us in. And so, fast forwarding, and we're finishing up your question, one person on the band staff came to me and said, Doc, I think we have an opportunity to cut an album. And I said, okay, I'm just listening as he presented. He said, no, I think we have an opportunity to really win a Grammy if we do this right. And I kind of pepped up a little bit and said, hey, let's do it. And I got on President Glover's calendar and presented the idea to her, and we just moved forward. The rest is history. But putting that album together was one of those things that if people really saw how we did it with the resources we have at an HBCU, just imagine if we had the resources of a PWI. Man, we could have probably had 4 or 5 Grammys by now if we had those same resources.
You know what, Doc? What's important? I mean, all the, you know, the accomplishments you guys have done. You just said a key word: the resources. We need alumni participation. We need alumni help. Listen, guys, we have to give back to the university that paved a lot of our careers.
Yes.
This university. I was on a band scholarship, and I'm gonna tell you the story. Westwood High School. Came to Tennessee State homecoming. I think I was in the 10th grade. I probably about this short then. Prof. Kirk came over there to that. When we went to the stands, he said, listen, if you was in the 12th grade, I would have gave you a scholarship today.
Oh, man.
And when I went to Tennessee State, I didn't have to audition.
Right.
And I was automatic in.
You already knew who you were.
You already knew. So what I'm saying, this university helped pave the way for who I am today.
Yes.
Now, guys, we got to do more. We got to do more. We got to do more now for that university and for the band. You got a lot of band students that went through this band program that's not doing nothing. We got to do something to support these students.
Yes.
We got to. I mean, costs have gone up tremendously. I mean, I think when I was in school, a semester was $650. Right. How much is a semester now?
Semester for an in-state student is $7,500, or a little bit more with the recent increase. An out-of-state student is $15,000 a semester. So yeah, it ain't $600 no more.
See, so that's important. That we're gonna lead up to what we're gonna lead up to, but not cutting you off, Doc. But no. It's imperative that we got to work together as one. The alumni, listen, the alumni association and the current. Listen, if we got a problem, let's sit down like grown-ups and talk about it. Right. Get off this social media and talk like men and women and come together as one, guys. We got to do that, and we got to do that now. Right. Listen, he'll listen.
I will.
You know, he will listen.
I absolutely will.
And I tell you this, I went to some people that used to be proud band members, and I tell you this, a year ago, they had issues. They aired out on social media. Why? Right. Why? When you can come sit down with this man and talk to him. Right. So we got to do better. We got to do better with that, and we got to work with the current new president, Terrence Hudson, came in '89. You met with him, right?
Good guy.
Good guy, right?
Terrence and I had lunch maybe about 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
He shared some things with me in terms of vision. I shared some things with him in terms of vision and where we would like to take the band program. At the end of that lunch, I think I texted you later on that day because I felt so encouraged by, you know, in the direction in which we're going with the AOB Alumni Executive Board right now. I think on the executive board we have some minds and some opportunities to do some unique things there. And so I've been excited ever since that luncheon, and I think I've shared that with you a couple of times. And so I would like to encourage the band alumni to get behind Terrence, get behind the current executive board. Terrence has my number, direct contact to me, you know, and so let's do it, baby. It's time to do it. It's one of those moments with the Aristocrat bands. It's time for us to move to the next level. And so we got a little, it's raining here in Memphis. So if you saw that, it's raining. The band just finished practicing outside in the rain to make sure we were ready. But to go back to what I'm saying, I feel like in terms of where I'm seeing, it's almost like it's moving in slow motion for me as I see things unfold. We are at a time with the Aristocrat bands that, in my mind, is our time. We have done so many things, and when I say we, I'm talking about all the way back to Mr. Greer, the father of Aristocrat bands. The Aristocrat bands have done so many things that we're at a space right now where we need to go on and open the door and step through the door for that next big thing. And you know, our kids, you know, just take this weekend for instance. We get into a market like Memphis for the Southern Heritage Classic, where people don't know. Now, band members know this because you was in the band, alumni know this. We get in market and we're performing from the time we get here until the time we leave. I don't think that the kids or the band staff even have a moment to just take in everything that's going on. And it's of such, even in 2024, almost similar to the Fish Jubilee Singers and how they financially kept the university up, fist up. It's almost so with the Aristocrat bands. If we skip out on a parade or if we skip out on a fifth quarter or something, not the band is not hurt financially, the entire university, you know. So it's almost in a space where people depend on the band to keep the university moving forward. And, you know, we've become the ambassadors. We've actually gotten to that point that when people think Tennessee State University, they think the Aristocrat bands. And this is on a wide scale, not just black folks, you know. And so with that in mind, it is our time to move to that next level. I'm constantly thinking about the challenge that Professor Graves gave me in terms of leaving the band program better than I found it. When Prof did retire after being groomed for 10 years under his leadership, you know, I would say as a band director, as a career music educator, I was given the keys to one of the top of the line cars. I drive Cadillac, so I would say a Cadillac. The band program was in great shape when he retired. And that had me thinking, like, how do I step into his shoes and move the band forward? And so, you know, that challenge is something that I constantly think about, how to lead the band better than where I found it. And so that further leads into our announcement a little bit later. And what we want to do with the band. Terrence is aware of what we want to do with the band. And it's not a McDonald thing. I want people to get out of their mind. It's not a McDonald thing. It's a us thing. It's an Aristocrat bands thing. But more important, it's the students. You know, and I'm probably going to quote Prof. Graves a lot in this conversation because I want people to know that Tennessee State's band mean a lot to me. You don't have to be an alumnus to fall in love with something. And the legacy of this program mean a whole lot to me. But Professor Graves mean a lot to me. Tommy Davis mean a lot to me. Prof. Davis just brought a donation to the band the other day, and he called me and told me what he brought up there. Stuff that he don't have to do in retirement. He makes his way on campus periodically just to see how I'm doing. And it's because of men like that that I have, in a sense, embedded sense of love for the program and making sure that we move the program forward. So, you know,
that's great.
We're gonna do some great things.
You already doing some great things. You listen. You're doing some big things, and let's kind of go back. You know, we go back to, you know, Prof. Greer. I wasn't in the band with Prof. Greer, but I go back to Professor Kirk. I mean, great guy. I mean, everybody know Hubba Hubba. Prof. Kirk, Hubba Hubba, man, he meant a lot to a lot of us. You know, he was a trumpet player. You know, Prof. Graves, man, that's my guy. You know, Prof. Kirk, Prof. Davis, those guys, like you said, paved the way for you.
Right.
You know, they paved the way, and you know, Prof Grid, they pay all to pave the way for you. So now you have some big shoes to fill.
Right.
You have some huge shoes to fill, and I think, in my opinion, you have been doing a great job. You know, given the hand that you've been dealt, right?
Right.
But you need more support.
I do.
You know, you need more support. I think a lot of not us, but a lot of people are working against you, and I see that, and a lot of them see it. Everybody got their opinion, but this man is the band director. That's what he get paid to do. He get paid to leave the band where they supposed to be going, right? So don't get mad at the decision this man make. You got a problem with it? Let's sit, because I'm pretty sure you don't mind sitting down with us, right?
I don't. And
Okay.
a lot of times, a decision that I make, you know, going back to what Prof always say, Reggie, if you keep the students first in every decision, let your decisions be about what's best for the students, you can't lose.
Okay.
And even with some tension with the alumni, you notice that the band has continued to be successful. Well, that's because, you know, I keep that in mind. I'm very prayerful. I'm not a perfect man by no shot of the imagination. And, you know, I've made a lot of mistakes here and there in life, but I am prayerful about decisions, especially about the band program. And so, you know, when I make a decision, I want the alumni to know that when I make a decision, my first thought is what's best for the students and the band. Okay? Now, am I going to get all 100% of students? There's no way you can do that. So it's always about the majority of the students. What is best for the majority of the students? Secondly, my decisions are always made based on what I am. I have somebody I answer to too.
Amen.
And so if I'm given a directive from above me, I have to follow that directive, you know, if I want to stay employed.
Correct.
And so I'm following those directives. So I want everybody to know, just like on your job, I have people I answer to. And so what the alumni might see as, man, I wouldn't have done that, or this don't fall in line with the traditions of the band, there are about 3 or 4 different things that guide every decision. And I'm not, you know, I'm transparent. I don't mind discussing why I made a decision. You know, let's take something like this weekend. You know, typically the band would stay in Memphis 2 nights, you know, but to make sure that we're in DC, if we get an opportunity to perform at halftime in DC, you know, it was more of a cost-cutting kind of move, and keeping the students in mind. It's easier for us to drive 3 hours to Memphis, maybe spend a night and try to get back in 3 hours after the game, as opposed to trying to drive 14 hours and the kids don't have any rest. So those are the kind of decisions that I'm constantly kind of weighing, because our budget is still the same budget. It probably might be the same budget that Prof Graves had when you was in the band, but the cost of the university is different. Just cost in general, you know. Let's just take a regular home game. In some of the decisions, when it was decided that the university would play all our games at Nissan Stadium, what people don't know, it takes $15,000 to transport the band to just a regular old home game. Each bus that we ride on is $1,400. Then you have to feed the band breakfast and maybe lunch, depending on the schedule of the game, because the game schedule might not flow with the actual cafeteria schedule, the weekend schedule, and what we need to do with warming the band up. And so I said all that to say, because I don't want to bore anybody or anything like that. I said all that to say is I'm transparent. My office door is open. You'd be surprised the number of alumni just come in and just, hey, Prof, I'm just checking on you, see how you're doing. You do it a lot. Prof, is there anything you need? And we just kind of talk. And then in that conversation, sometimes they'll ask me, Prof, why did you do A, B, and C? You've asked me that before. And I say, hey, this is the rationale for that.
So do you mind going forward? I don't know if you communicate. I'm pretty sure you talk to Terrence. So is there a kind of way you guys can set up a meeting, you know, that you guys meet on the regular? Terrence can come to you and say, guys, listen, here's what the alumni is bringing to my attention to come to you.
Yeah,
you think that can happen?
We can do that.
Okay.
And one of my graduates, or somebody that was in the band during my time, is the vice president, Philip Brown.
Okay.
And his sister-in-law is actually on my staff. She does the medical stuff for us. So there's a direct pipeline.
Gotcha.
Anytime,
See?
either anybody, and it don't have to be the executive board. It can be anybody
Gotcha.
that want to come and speak to me.
Yeah, man,
We can do that.
that is great, Prof.
But I've always had that policy.
Open door policy. I like it. I like it, brother. And I know you have, brother. I know you have. I'm about to put you on the spot.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get you in trouble. I'm about to put you on the spot.
Yes, sir.
Now, listen. I love TSU, and I'm pretty sure a lot of us that's Big Blue that love TSU.
Yes.
You know, we go into, when are we going to start playing some HBCUs? Because we need to be in the SWAC. And I know probably the OVC paying us more money, but guess what? It shows in the attendance.
Yes, it does.
When are we going to when are we going to start getting the divisions of HBCUs? Do you have any clues? Because that's what I want. I don't know what these other folks out there want, but that's what I want to see. That's what people want to see. We want to see playing JSU. We want to playing Southern. We used to do that, but we don't anymore.
Right.
So do you have any idea of what's going on? Not putting you on the spot?
No, you're not putting me on the spot. But
Okay.
What I will say
Okay.
is, from our perspective as the band director, a lot of people know I am a product of 2 HBCUs, so I believe strongly in HBCUs and the opportunities they offer for our communities. And now we get more and more into offering opportunities from people from the Latino community and things like that. So I am a big fan of HBCUs. I would love to play at HBCU every week. I have shared that with some people in athletics. My students tend to rehearse better. The work ethic is different when we know we're going to play against another HBCU as opposed to an OVC team. I'm not sure where we are currently with regards to moving from the SWAC, from the OVC. But what I will say is, I think our athletics administration is looking at a lot of those things with regards to, what our crowds look like when we're playing OVC school. And people got to keep in mind, Nashville is not the Nashville when you was in school. Nashville is a big town now. It's like living in Houston or Atlanta or Memphis or somewhere, St. Louis or somewhere. So people have a lot of options on a Saturday. If you're a family of 4, you're trying to decide what you're going to do on the weekend, and you're thinking about, well, should I go to a TSU game? Who are we playing this weekend? Am I going to spend $250? What is our product? What does our product look like on the field? Do I just want to go and see the band and then, leave? Am I getting my money's worth just seeing the band or what have you? And so I understand that, and I think our athletics department is starting to understand that too, because people are taking their discretionary cash, their family fund money, and deciding, well, maybe we'll go as a family go see a movie on a Saturday, or we'll go downtown and catch a concert, and they'll bypass us altogether because who are we playing this week? We playing who? Yep. Where's that school? And so I think athletics is really, really looking into it. So, yeah.
I hope so. So that's a question. I hope so. My last question before we get into the big news, I want to see how important God plays in not only what you're doing with the band program with these kids. Kind of wrap God in the community into how important that is to you, Doc.
So growing up, my family is a God-fearing family.
Okay.
My people are from the North Alabama area. My dad's people is from a little town called Tanner. My mom's people is from a little town called Decatur, Alabama. Okay. My dad's people were sharecroppers.
Wow.
My granddad had managed, it was 17 children in my dad's family. My granddad had managed to put all of the kids through college, except the 3 oldest boys. They had to go to the military. So all of my family has been educated at Alabama A&M, but I have an aunt, my oldest aunt, well, she's passed, she's a Tennessee State alumni. A lot of people don't know, I have family roots at Tennessee State that's really, really deep. That's why sometimes I know about information or things that's going on that people don't know I know, and where I got the information. I have distant cousins, family members that are alumnus of Tennessee State that kind of keep me in the loop of things. my dad's people, there's a church that my dad's people is responsible for in that little small community. And at times when nobody was giving money to keep the church afloat, my dad's people were the church, helping it go. So from a very early part of my life, I learned about God. Again, I want to make sure I don't come off as perfect to nobody. You know, I make a lot of mistakes here and there. And then my mother's people, my granddad and my mom's dad, he was a cat at a golf course for years, whatever they would give him. But my grandmother, my mom's mom, was a self-taught church pianist. And she would go from town to town in North Alabama playing piano for the church. So I know that's where my music portion of my life came from. And so from my mom's people, I learned about God there too. Fast forwarding, you know, all my life, you know, we learned to pray over food, give God thanks for food. We had to pray at night, you know. We went to church every Sunday. And so God has been a big part of my life from as far as I can remember. And one of the things that I keep in mind that my mom always say is, if you make one step, God will make two. So I've always been that kid that no one expected to do what I've done in life. And I don't want to stay on that because it's not about me. But to answer your question, God is like everything. Like I say, I pray about decisions with regards to the band. There are some things that I'm going to keep close to the vest right now because I would rather have my reward later than on earth. But there's something I'm praying about right now with regards to the band and some things like that I want to see come to fruition. And I know they will, because I keep in mind, because that's where my faith is. If you make one step, God will make two. The whole time I was in school at the University of Alabama, I commuted. A lot of people don't really know that I commuted. And Prof. Graves will tell you that, Prof. Davis. I was in school from 03 to 06, and I went to school down there in Tuscaloosa, 4 hours away. That's one of the reasons I'm tough on my students, because I want them to know that life for us as minorities in this country it's different. And the minute you start thinking that it's not, you've already done yourself a disservice. You put yourself back. And so the whole time I was in school, whereas there were other faculty members in the music department, they would take a sabbatical or whatever. I just really couldn't do that, you know, financially and for a whole host of reasons. But I never missed a class down there. God made sure my car never failed me on the road. I never missed a class. During that time, I was responsible for drilling the band. I was responsible for rehearsing the wind ensemble, because I was Prof. Graves' assistant during that time. I was responsible for teaching music ed classes in the department. We didn't miss a beat during that time. And I went to school some semesters twice a week and came back and rehearsed the band. There are a lot of mornings I had to get up at 3 in the morning to be down there on time, because, you know, just the challenge of being a minority in that program down there. If you know anything about the history of the University of Alabama, you know, I would have a professor that'll set a conducting lesson at 7:30 in the morning and ask me could I be there, and I was there. I just got up at 2:30 and left and went down there. And so anyway, I said that to say I'm an inner city kid that grew up in Atlanta. I'm a kid whose 4th grade teacher told my mom and dad that they should be thinking about vocational school for me. I'm 9. And my mom will tell you about that. Like, she tears up when she think about it. And I finished in the top of my class in high school, went on to Alabama State, not really understanding that God is orchestrating things there at that time. Because my high school band director is a Tennessee State alum. He's an Aristocrat, with a late Tommy Gross. He played in the band in the 60s under Mr. Greer. My college band director, the late Thomas E. Lyle, was in that first band that Chavis, that we read about, that Chavis put together in 1946. If you go back and read a little bit of Chavis, he talks about he recruited in Birmingham. Well, Dr. Lyle was from Birmingham. He was one of those students that he chose from Birmingham, and he was in the band. Not really putting all that together at 18 or 19, but at 56, I'm seeing how God is orchestrating things for me to be where I am at Tennessee State at this moment in life. You know, there have been a lot of opportunities that I could have just said, you know what, I'm going for the money, but I know deep down in my heart I wouldn't have been happy, you know, doing that. And so every day, there's not a day that I'm not excited to come on campus, even with challenges. You know, I just look at challenges like I just told our students. When you have a challenge, it's an opportunity. You have choices at that moment. You got a choice to say, okay, this challenge is, okay, let me look at this challenge. Let me see how I'm going to win in this challenge. Or you can look at a challenge and say, oh man, they doing me so wrong. Woe is me. And just tuck your tail and just walk off. And so, and what I've done in terms of personal career, infusing God into my decisions and how I go about doing things, I'm doing that for our students to see that, especially the black males in our band. I know some of them think I'm probably the toughest person on earth, but when they leave us, I've had so many of them to just walk into careers, and no matter how hard their career is, they never looked at the career hard like that, because they thinking in it was tougher being in the band under Prof Mac than it is doing this job right now. And that's what I you know, I feel good about that, developing thick skin. But to answer your question, God is everything.
That's good.
And matter of fact, when we get back at 3 o'clock Saturday morning, I'm going to go to sleep for a couple of hours, and then I'm going to get up and go to church and sing in the men's choir at Lake Providence like I do every third Sunday, because, you know, God didn't have to allow me to have this opportunity.
Wow. Prof, boy, I tell you, you are an inspiration to a lot. I mean, you got a lot of kids that you look. You have 240 kids in the band this year?
Actually, a little small. We're about at my official roll is 219.
219.
So we're about 70 or 80 kids smaller than we've been in the last 4 or 5 years.
But that's still a lot.
There's still a lot of kids.
There's still a lot, and they deserve more when they get it. I mean, you, and this gonna leave us up to what we're going to now, but you know that band room is a small band room, right?
Yes, it is.
It's a very small band room. You got FAMU, you got Southern that have huge band rooms, right?
Right.
You know, your kids in there like
like sardines.
Like sardines. So listen, this gonna bring us to the next important topic we want to tell everybody that we're going to try to start doing. We're not going to try. We're going to do it.
Yes, we are.
It's going to happen. God told me it's going to happen. He told Doc, his vision. He wanted to happen. It's going to happen. So I'm going to get behind his vision.
Yes.
Right? And I'm going to let him, I'm going to let Prof tell you guys what the vision is and how we're going to do it. So Prof, without further ado, tell them what's going to happen.
So going back to what Sid was just alluding to and mentioning to you guys, so the band room that the band currently rehearses in was built in the late 60s for only 100 students. But every year we got 200 plus crammed into that band room. So the next part of what I would like for us to do, and this is taking the band program legacy long beyond me. I probably won't even really get a chance to enjoy the new band room, but the young guys on our staff will. We're looking at building a state-of-the-art band room, the Frank T. Greer, Edward L. Graves Band Hall and concert stage. We want to do something that's similar to what Auburn University has, where there's a concert stage attached to the band room. We want to use that concert stage as a steady stream of revenue for the band program for years to come, 20 years, 30 years from now. If you have a major artist in town in Nashville and they're doing a concert and they decide they want to do an intimate setting and they don't necessarily want to do a concert at the Bridgestone, we want to have our concert hall on the Chamber of Commerce list of possible venues where a major artist come to town and say, oh, let's try this. Let's do a concert at Tennessee State. And that money goes directly back to the band program where we get to the point, really I want to get to the point where our band program is self-sufficient, where we're not just relying on state dollars every year, what the state senators or somebody that make decisions decide they want to give to Tennessee State University, and then each department is divvied up based on what the current administration thinks is a priority or not a priority or what have you. And so that's the big announcement. Through the efforts of Said Turner and some other alumni, we're going to open up a specific foundation that's geared specifically for that funding, where everybody would know where every dollar is going. They can trace their money. They will get some type of receipt for their money. Mr. Blaylock is involved in this. And so just stay tuned. We're going to shortly try to get us a rendering drawn of the band room, what we want it to look like. And I tell you, alumni, I'm friends with a lot of band directors around the country. And, when I think about Tennessee State, and, everybody know I was educated at Alabama State and have 1 degree from Clark, Atlanta also. And this is no knock on those schools, but Tennessee State has always sat in a certain tier amongst HBCUs. And we I call our sister schools that's equivalent to us as a FAMU or a Southern. And to look at their band room can hold 500 to 600 kids. They got 350 in the band this year, and they still have room for another 200 kids. And here we are with 219 in the band. We're trying to do a full rehearsal. We're sitting on top of each other. The band is against the whiteboard, but something that most alumni don't know unless they've been on campus recently. When they built the Performing Arts Center, the Strange Music Building was there. They combined those buildings, but they put brand new air conditioning units, electricity, all of that. They never changed in our band room. So not only are our kids competing and trying to learn, and our band directors are trying to teach in an environment that's not conducive for learning because kids are sitting so close together, but we've had a portable air conditioner in the band room for like the last 2.5, almost 3 years. That's so loud that the kids, basically there are times when we actually have to scream across to the kids, or we actually have to use a microphone so that kids hear instruction in the band room. And for all that our band has done, being a band of first, recently going to do the Rose Bowl parade where only 4 college bands a year is accepted, and we was the only HBCU that year, after some other HBCUs have done it the year before and after us, to be the first band to play at the Grand Ole Opry. We have a standing invitation to the Opry. We can go back whenever we want to. That's huge, to earning a Grammy, to all of the things that the band has done. And for us to do that with the resources we have is almost unethical. And so, alumni, I would never, say anything to make you uncomfortable with regards to giving. Only thing I really want to encourage you to do is think about the current students, but also think about the legacy of the band. Think about what the band means to you, and let that guide your decision as we continue to move forward. But I will tell you, we're going to have a new band room, and I'm giving myself about 5 or 6 years to do this thing, but we're going to have a new band room. 5 years.
5 years. Listen, guys. 5 years. Listen. But listen, we need alumni to come, step up.
Yeah.
Let's step up, because you know, everybody, you can do it. You can do it. We can do it as one if we stand together. Listen, these kids are working hard every day, and with this new generation, I don't know how you're doing it.
Oh my God!
Listen, with this new generation, my hat's off to you, Doc. But he needs support. Alumni, let's stand tall.
Yes.
Now listen, if Westwood Nation can stand tall, TSU can stand taller.
That's right.
I don't know now. Westwood Nation been standing taller lately. So we listen, we got to match the intensity right now. We got to turn it up. We got to continue to put God in His plan, and we got to support this. We got to pray about it, and we got to continue to support you, Doc.
Thank you.
You got my support. You're gonna always have my support. I'm gonna kick it off with a nice donation for this band room, and it's gonna be earmarked for the band room. It's going to be earmarked, nothing else. It's going, all this funds that we're going to raise is going toward this band and that band room. So guys, please listen. You know what? You want me to get on my knees like Keith Sweat? I get on my knees like Keith Sweat.
Don't do it.
I do it. I do it. Come on, alumni. We got to do better. We got to give something. Dig deeper in your pocketbook, in your wallet, and give. Just give on a regular basis.
That's right.
Just do it on a regular basis. And I'm telling you, we can do it, and we're gonna do it. And we're gonna mend that gap between the Alumni Association and the current band staff right now. We're gonna work it out. We're gonna work together as one, as a team, as a family. Because like I said, that university paved a lot of our ways.
Yes.
I mean, God knows that university has. This band program, I don't know what I would have done without this band, in TSU and this band program. I'm going to tell you right, I would be lost. I would be lost. So guess what? I'm trying to do what God want me to do. God told me to do it. I'm going to do it, Doc.
Yes, sir.
You got you got me.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure a lot of them out there, they probably don't look at it now. Alumni, they going to support you.
Right.
But we got to come together as one.
That's right.
We're going to do it.
Yeah.
And listen, Doc, you're doing a fantastic job.
Thank you.
I know you're tired. Listen, the game is tomorrow. Tell us about, listen, first of all, tell us about your beautiful wife and your 2 kids before you go. Shout out to them.
My wife is doing well. She was teacher of the year last year, Metro
That's good.
Schools. Our kids are doing well. Our oldest is probably going to be in the band in the next 2
That's
years.
good.
Well, not probably, she will. She'll have a choice. And the youngest are just being twins, doing their thing. So we are extremely fortunate, blessed, and excited. And I just want to go back to the alumni with what you said. I'm one of those teachers, I don't do stuff that I don't ask my students to do or people to do. And so, alumni, please know, it don't have to be a large amount. I give money, I've been giving money to our band program since probably about 2002 or 2003. Out of every check, I've earmarked a certain amount that goes straight to the band foundation. I've increased that a little bit over the years as I'm able to do so. Of course, I give to my alma mater, but I give to Tennessee State too, because I do believe in Tennessee State. I believe in all HBCUs and our product and what we do for our communities.
Well, Doc, we appreciate it. Listen, rain, sleet, or snow, we're going to be there tomorrow to support TSU and TSU Aristocrat bands. Listen, I'm telling you right now, Nuke Row, we're going to be on Nuke Row doing it. He don't know about Nuke Row, but that's okay. That's the only mistake he made in his life, I think. I know he did. But Nuke Row tomorrow, we're going to be tailgating. We're going to be doing we're going to have fun. I don't know what they doing. I don't know what the Alpha's doing, but they're going to be doing, they're going to have fun. Bruh's going to have fun. Listen, come on out. The Alpha's Q's. We're going to have a good time. We're a family. Divine Nine, we're a family. Come on out. But TSU alumni, please, let's get behind this program.
Yes.
Let's put all our differences to the side. If we got whatever difference we got, let's put it to the side and come together as one.
That's right.
So listen, Doc, thank you. You've done a fantastic
you.
job, brother. I love you, man.
I love you too, man.
Listen, man, and I'm gonna let you close. Anything you want to say? Just
only thing I just want to say to our Aristocrat bands, alumni, Tennessee State University alumni, when the university is going to that next level, just understand with anything, the first part about doing something new is just starting. And so I want to encourage you, whether you are a band alumni of the football team, the cheerleaders, or whoever, just start doing something to help us move forward. The easiest thing to do is to find little mistakes or issues and complain about them. The hardest thing to do is say, okay, that's what it is, but let me get behind this particular area of the university. I promise you, you'll feel so much better. You'll feel great with changing lives, because the young folks that's in school right now, they're going to be our leaders in 20 years. Hopefully most of us are retired, so what do we want that to look like? So you got to pour into these young people. And so just do something. Give your time, your talents, and your treasure back to your alma mater.
listen. You heard it here. Dr. Reginald A McDonald, TSU Aristocrat bands, the leader of this band program. He's done a fantastic job, guys. I'm proud of you, Doc. I've been proud of you. You got my 100% support. I mean, you call me up and say, hey, we need X, Y, and Z.
Yeah, just like today.
Doc called me up and said, we need X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
And then 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Guess what? It's here.
Got it.
We got it.
Got it. I
So
appreciate
so we need more. We
Yes.
got to have more to help the band program out, because he needs to depend on, because guess what? The university can't do everything. So guess what? We got you, Doc.
I
We
appreciate
got you, brother. Listen, thank you all for tuning in.
Thank you.
We love you so much, and
Yes.
God bless you.
God bless you. All right.